There are a lot of steps that go into running a successful golf course, but providing a safe environment for membership and staff is a top priority. Safety and compliance expert Jeremy Wharton canvasses golf course facilities to help locate potential safety issues before they become costly violations down the line. Wharton says many of these violations are rooted in chemical storage areas.
Some of the more common things we find in chemical storage and handling areas are chemicals being stored with fertilizers together and them not being separated, especially when it comes to pesticides, making sure that you have your pesticides separate and locked so that the hourly folks that don't have spray license can't come in and get to those chemicals. PPE and other personal effects. We've even found ham sandwiches and water bottles that people are drinking out of in the pesticide and the chemical rooms, in those storage rooms. A lot of times, the applicators, they'll leave those personal effects in those rooms. So those are things that you really want to look for.
When it comes to chemical storage, Wharton says it's important to follow manufacturer and OSHA recommendations.
OSHA says that you have to have a label in English from the manufacturer put on every single container and prominently displayed. So no handwritten containers for the labels that may have fallen off or eventually wore down. Calling the manufacturer, getting another copy sent to you, maybe make a copy when you first get that piece of that first chemical in and have it on file, so in case the label does fall off or it does deteriorate, you can change it out.
Other mistakes include reusing containers and using makeshift tools to mix or measure chemicals.
Like you don't want to use sports drink bottles, soda bottles, you don't want to use coffee cups for measuring cups. Making sure that in fact whatever you're measuring with, whatever you're storing with was manufactured for that purpose so that no one makes a mistake when they come into the room that it's blue Gatorade and in fact it's a herbicide or something to that effect.
To minimize these risks, Wharton advises golf facilities to keep the chemical storage room door locked when an applicator or operator isn't present. If an accident should happen, such as a spill, Wharton says it's best to apply the track or die method.
Anytime that you may spill something, making sure that you're cleaning them up, especially whenever it comes to track or die. I mean, track or die tells all of our sins. It tells what we've done, where we've spilled it, and although it is just track or die, there was another chemical that was being tracked with that dye. And so making sure that we take the extra steps to go and clean those things up and not give the perception that we're spilling chemicals everywhere, and that's why our floors are green and our equipment's green, and that's what's going on.
Cleaning up spills soon after they occur prevents chemical exposure hazards and slips, trips, and falls. In fertilizer storage areas, Wharton suggests storing liquids beneath dry fertilizer and conducting regular checkups by managers who can assess the maintenance needs of a room.
Especially whenever you have granule fertilizers or granule products, bags will become broken, especially whenever they're forking them in and out or putting them on racks and things like that. If a product becomes broken, just good housekeeping measures, keeping things cleaned up, making sure that products aren't being cross-contaminated with one another. And again, it just goes back to cultural practices. Cleaning up after yourself, making sure that if you break something that you're able to clean it up and fix it when it happens rather than to let it go. We've been to some places that have let that go for quite some time, and you end up getting quite a buildup of product on the ground.
Occasional spills are inevitable, so it's vital that applicators and staff members have access to safety data sheets, hazard warnings, and signage.
Some of the signage you want to be aware of specifically here is your NFPA 704 diamond, which will tell you and tell the emergency responders what to expect if the building were to be on fire. Because again, if a fire occurred at 2 o'clock in the morning, the folks from the maintenance facility or the golf course aren't going to be there most likely. Same's true for safety signs, exit signs, fire prevention. All of those things again apply to this building and the storage of these chemicals.